Yeah, I mean the Cowboys are just kind of they're something to behold. I mean, I was surprised they beat Tom Brady. That's now almost disappointing because I'd rather see Tom Brady lose further in the playoffs than the freaking Cowboys. But at the end of the day, they did what they did. They got further in than they have in a bit, I think, and that's exciting for them. But they just they have to stop becoming the same the same thing. It seems like year after year, it, it's just that they're a bit short, and they always seem to kind of take the easy route on a few of their. Not the easy route, because obviously they pay, but they're doing it different than maybe other teams who across the league who obviously are not paying running backs at this point in their franchises. Like, at this point in time with their franchise, it's obvious that the Cowboys are not moving away from that as quickly because they have somebody who's great, but it's like, at the end of the day, are you trying to sell seats or win? And I think the Cowboys are trying to sell seats. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, you freaking jerk. What's up, jerk? Make sure no other jerks around here. Yeah? Alright. We need a mystical offer. Rainstone. Hunt his kin. I think it's like a few deer pelts? I don't remember. Something like that. So just kinda wanna get that health up. Feels a little bit important right now. I got two of them. Okay. I don't think there's too much in the early game. Oh, get your 1-star board butt over here. I don't know where I'm facing up. Sorry, dude. You're gonna have to die. There's a lot more of you out here. Now I ran after you, jerk. Alright, so first thing I want to do is change. Done. So, alright, I'm pulling up the sports book right now. Alright, so let's get a first look at the odds while we play. We have... We're gonna lock them in while we do it. And then we have... So, okay. I was writing it down a little bit, just so I can do my thing. So we are looking at, after the last week's game, we'll talk about last week's outcomes after. After when we're doing the podcast, so I can kind of just clip it as one whole thing. For now, we'll just talk a little bit about next week, and then we'll redo it and kind of do an updated look with the new odds and everything, because they'll probably update a little bit as time goes on. But I already have my picks, and I figure why not just give them if I'm not afraid to give them again later on. So the first look at the odds is looking at the spread is plus 2.5 for Fran. They're looking at plus 124. underdogs, and the over-under is 45.5 at -110. Cincinnati Bengals and KC Chiefs, you got +1.5 for the spread, which I think is a great time to lock it in now. I don't know which way anybody's going to be leaning, but everybody's going to be leaning, but I do think this game is going to be close, isn't going to be close no matter which way it ends up going, and I have a good feeling about the Bengals again. Like I said, I think they're going all the way, and this has kind of made me feel that same way. I'm looking at the +100. I'm thinking I'm going to take that again. It's close to the same line I took last time for, well, actually, it's much less now. But it's not a big deal. I'm going to probably take the Eagles, and I'm going to take the -2.5 because I think they're going to win by a field goal or more. I think that the Chiefs, yeah, I think it's going to be Bengals probably up by a decent amount, and then same thing with the Eagles. Looking like how it's going to be this whole season, you know. I think this season's been a little bit bad football from the teams we've expected good football from, and I think it's going to continue. But I do think these lines are going to move a little bit, especially the spread. I think obviously as we get a little bit closer and more news comes out, it'll move a little bit closer to what they think it'll actually be and what media thinks it'll actually be. But we're gonna, at the end of the day, keep up with that, give you an update before the actual game comes out, and then, you know, then we'll see. It'll be fun. We got the Gordon Ryan ADCC versus Felipe Pena coming up soon. We have the next UFC, UFC 283 happened just last week, or just yesterday, which would be last week technically, but yeah, just last week. It seemed to be a pretty entertaining one, and I didn't get the time to watch it, sadly. But it, I did get to watch some of the highlights of the main card, and I'll watch it fully over the next week and talk about my bets that I placed on it. Happy with it, at least from the looks, you know, what I said. Gonna start looking more into placing prop bets on the fights for the UFC. Think it's something that would be pretty fun to take a look at. Maybe I'll move away from it as I learn more about it. But for now, it's possible. The the games have been entertaining, though. I mean, in a way that is kind of disappointing just in terms of football, but like, you know, teams that we aren't expecting to necessarily have been as good are doing what they should, and you know, it's awesome to see. What it's the Eagles, for me, are an entertaining team. I think that everybody believes that, like, to some degree. I think that the the Bengals, like I said, are the team that I have going all the way. They're one of my favorite teams to watch. I think that they're a very solid team, all more than Joe Burrow, but I think that Joe Burrow is a talent that can do it. And I think in the NFL you need that today, and I think it's what's going to be proven, you know. But if it isn't, then I think it just will be proven really either way. I mean, I think that Patrick Mahomes is pretty much the same amount of talent, proving year in and year out, going to the final, going to the AFC Championship every year. You know, I think that you don't look at that and say, hey, this dude's fucking the highest level of this sport that you can get. But right now, it's hard for me to say that it's not Joe Burrow that's on the other side of that. Unless somebody steps up, he's a winner. He's a hard worker. He's a winner. He's that guy. You know? Who would you rather have on your team right now? Like, be honest. Who would you rather have on your team right now? Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow? I mean, it's Joe Burrow. It's just, you know, he's a person you want to build your franchise around. He's better than other young players in the league, even though they're, you know, at the top of their game right now. But Joe Burrow is a top 4 quarterback in this league right now, and he really isn't that much behind the best, you know. I mean, I think, in my opinion, it's got to be at this year and the years past, Patrick Mahomes. But outside of that, who is it right now? And it's got to be Joe Burrow to me. It's not Jalen Hurts. It's not Josh Allen, in my opinion. It's not Jimmy. Like, I don't even know I'd bring him up, but, like, you know, it's not anybody on the 49ers or anything like that. So my question is, who is it? You know what I mean? Like, and it's gotta be him. It's not Aaron Rodgers. It's not Aaron Rodgers. It's not Tom Brady anymore, as much as I'd love for it to be. It's not Dak Prescott. But, hey, who knows? Maybe Joe Burrow turns it around and actually becomes the player, and Joe Burrow. Maybe Dak Prescott turns it around and becomes the player that I think his potential can be. Same thing with Josh Allen. I mean, I think he's gonna win championships with this time in the league, but man, it is friggin' hard for me to say that this is not what I see from him. I mean, he really is a great player who has a very, 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 like, limiting ability to play the game. You know, there's something about him that stops him from really crossing that line fully. He might one day, he might be as good as you know, any quarterback that I've ever seen. I'm not here to say what he will be for sure, but what I am here to say for sure is that you freaking jerk. Is that, you know, the reason I couldn't pick them is because I don't trust him not to throw interceptions the game is on the line, you know? I think that at the end of the day, this team is just not trustworthy. And I clearly wasn't wrong for believing that. I mean, it's not that I'm sitting here and saying, like, oh, Josh Allen is not gonna be successful, is not a star player currently. What I am saying though is that Josh Allen is not somebody who has been to the highest level yet, and you know, I think that a lot of that is luck, but you have to crack through that. You know, you have to be able to crack through that luck to be able to get to that point, and I mean, I don't know about you. I just don't think it's, you know, he hasn't gotten the luck on his side, you know, that Bills Mafia, like, life, but it needs to happen because he has a limited time to have a great team around him, and, like, as good as it is right now, and at the end of the day, it's like, why are you going to give up on this great potential talent that has obviously done a lot for you, but also, like, there has to be, to some degree, more done, obviously, to keep him, to get him to that point, because he hasn't even made it past the AFC Divisional round, and, you know, if that is his reality, I saw. If that is his reality, then what are we even doing? We could just sit here forever. And go to the, like, have a team that's really scary to play in the playoffs, but will always get knocked out because their quarterback falls apart when they need him, or can't overcome what it needs to be to get in, like, so you need to overcome what may be a I guess the what I like I'm not really having an easy time coming up with an idea of what I was kind of talking about, but mainly I think that Josh Allen needs to be able to overcome, like, or, okay, so when you're at that point of the playoffs, your defense can't hold you up, and you need to be able to hold your defense up while they at some point have to do it vice versa. You know, I think that at the end of the day, it is on the quarterback, if you're getting paid as much as they are, to give your team that boost, so that when, you know, vice versa, they give you the boost, it is matched, you know, offense and defense. I don't know. I guess I'm putting in simple terms of Josh Allen needs to be better. Josh Allen needs to hold up his side of the deal when it comes to being a top 3 quarterback in the league. You know, the Chiefs defense can not be perfect because Patrick Mahomes a lot of the times goes out there in the moments he has to be perfect and doesn't. And Josh Allen has not done that yet, and that's what he needs to do. That's why the Chiefs are as great as they are. is because Patrick Mahomes shows up when he has to. And if we're not going to get that from Josh Allen, then he's going to have to do what a lot of people did for Tom Brady and wait until Patrick Mahomes leaves. And then maybe it'll be his turn. But I'm worried about the Bills. I'm worried about Josh Allen and where he's at in his development, in his career. I think he's in an incredibly tough conference, and, I don't think it's going to get much easier. I think a lot of teams are very angry with how this year turned out, and they're going to make a lot of changes. So, let's see. But, I'm excited to see the Bengals and the Chiefs, where this goes. I'm excited for the Bengals, and I think that they're going to come out on top of the Eagles. I think that the Eagles are where the Bengals were last year. I think that they're a team that can really come together for the next few years. They might even have more of a chance than the Bengals of being an all-around dynasty for a while, but I do think that they're gonna poop the bed in the championship, but they have to make it there. They have to beat the Niners, who are just still doing it. I mean, I bet against them. I bet for them the first time. I bet against them the second time, and lost on that one. One of my only loses so far, or one of my only loses, I guess. But definitely an interesting team to see play, beat a really, really good team, but Brock Purdy was exposed a bit more, so, it's a little bit interesting to see where that goes and where he kind of ends up now. As a result of kind of. But yeah, as a result of winning this much, but not looking too great at different points, it's going to be interesting to see Brock Purdy's trajectory from this point in his career and into the future. He is a very interesting talent. And somebody who is hopefully going to do some great things in this league. Regardless of if it's even as a backup or something else, I'd love to see just the talent work out. Because he is interesting as a player. He's interesting as a story. And who doesn't hope for the best when it comes to that type of stuff, right?